Toronto Blue Jays looking to get back in the win column tonight as their division lead in the AL East is as narrow as it's been since I can remember.
Yeah.
To right center field, a long run for Lucas, and it's by him and off the wall. Lowe will score. Abreu around third. He is in as well, and it is 4-1 Red Sox.
A low-scoring game for the Jays. Toronto falling 4-1 to the Red Sox last night in the first game of a key series. The Jays managed just 3 hits in this losing effort. They still hold top spot in the AL East, but as Nick mentioned, they're just 1 game ahead of the Yankees now.
Oh, okay, so we'll take a close look at the game. We're joined by Andrew Zuber, co-host of Less Than Jays podcast. Andrew, can you show us your fingernails? You still got some there? Because it's becoming like nail biter season at this point. How are you feeling about this team? Because the last couple of weeks, almost month, have been such a stark contrast from what we saw from this team in, July and into August.
Yeah, nervous would be an understatement, I think. You're absolutely right. This year has sort of been built on everybody up and down the lineup getting those hits and timeliness and clutch hitting, and it's dried up the last 8-10 days, the last 2 weeks or so. It has been gut check time. The nerves are in full force. Not exactly the time of year you want to suddenly see your offense dry up. That is for sure.
Yeah, and I can't help but, factor in the fact that Bo Bichette is still injured and is not playing. And they seem to be really rocking when the trifecta of Guerrero, Springer, Bichette, all their top guys are in the lineup. So when one gets left out of the equation, it seems like it's kind of like we can lay an egg here situation. What do you make of that and what they need to do, offense-wise, to claim first place in the AL East?
Yeah, absolutely right. When you look at, you talk about clutch numbers, runners with scoring position, Bo Bichette, basically the best hitter in all of baseball this year in those situations. And the way this team is built, it's not, like the Yankees where it's all about home runs, where it's all about that 3-run home run. This has been a lot about passing the torch, a lot about getting those clutch hits. And when you take away the guy in this lineup that has had the most clutch hits, the guy in this lineup that has come up in most of those situations and made the most of those moments when you need a single, an opposite field double, you need those smaller things. Bo has been that guy. And you are absolutely right. Sort of that triumvirate of Vladdy, Bo, and George Springer has been so important. And, with Bichette out, Vlad has also had a bit of a struggle. He's only got 1 extra base hit in the last 2 weeks. It's just a double. He's sitting on 23 home runs for the year, which for $500 million is maybe a little bit below where you want your power production to be. He's had a couple really nice stretches this year, but without Bichette, they are sort of looking around wondering who is going to be the guy that steps up in the big moment. And the hallmark of this year it's been a bunch of different guys. The bottom of the lineup has had some great stretches. George Springer has been very clutch in many different situations, but it just goes to show, when you take out a really important piece like that, especially Bichette, who is famously nearing free agency at the end of this year, it gets thin pretty quick.
Yeah, we've seen Varsho, Jimenez, Schneider, all sort of, going up and down the rotation, kind of, filling in here or there. But Andrew, I want to pick up on that, like you said, about that tightness, that nervousness that the fans are definitely feeling. And it looks like the Jays are, maybe squeezing the bat a little too hard, just maybe trying a little too hard here because there's so much anticipation about this team. Do you get that sense that the Jays are feeling the pressure of expectations that came up, within the last few weeks?
It could be pressure. It could be that the teams are going to pitch them a little bit tighter. They're not surprising teams anymore. I think a lot of people, Jays fans included, would say this year has been a bit of a surprise. It's been a little bit of found money. And what has been so key to their success this year is they don't strike out a lot. So they're making a lot of contact. And where throughout the course of the year, maybe that evened out towards some base hits here, some nice at-bats here. In the last little bit, what you're seeing is they are sacrificing good contact. They're making a lot of weak contact. You're seeing a lot of quick at-bats. You're seeing pop-outs. You're seeing ground-outs. You're seeing things where those fractions of inches that maybe earlier in the year turned into bloop hits or line drives, they're finding gloves. They're finding outs. They are just, those margins are so razor thin in the major leagues. The pitching is so good. And now, as you said, that desperation seeping in, not just for them, but a team like the Red Sox who are fighting for their playoff lives.
Yeah.
These are very big games for the Red Sox. These are very big games for the Yankees. Previously in these series, other teams are also in that stretch run, and the American League is so condensed. It's so bunched up. You look at the Central, the Guardians were out of it a month ago, and suddenly they're making a run. It's not just the Blue Jays sort of trying to finish their season off. It's other teams trying to make that last final push. So you are seeing across the league, the pressure's on for everybody.
Andrew, I've got to ask you, I was 13 in 1987. I remember watching the Jays collapse in that last week against the Detroit Tigers. And one of our producers, Richard Perry, just reminded me of that. How much are you feeling that 1987 chill of just watching it all just kind of fell apart in kind of the final week?
It's a little scary, especially when you add in that sort of the breaking point in 87 was the Tony Fernandez injury, famously their star shortstop. Now we have a Bo Bichette injury. It's a little bit note for note. It's a little scary. It would be a shame. Luckily, they're already in. If they had a wild card back then, things would have been a little bit less scary. But boy, I don't think anybody is sitting here on the last week of September and saying, 1 game lead over the Yankees with 5 to play. You would have, in some situations you would have taken it, and others it's like would have loved to have this sealed up by now. So there is lots to play for.
Yeah, of course, that magic number is 4. And because the Yankees won yesterday, tonight, we really hope the Jays win and the Yankees lose to somewhat keep that gap or widen it. All right. Andrew Zuber, host of Less Than Jays podcast. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for your insight.